18, Owen Brown Gravesite Historic Landmark nomination, which was held by Supervisor Barger. For members of the public on the telephone, please press 1 then 0 now to comment on this item. Supervisor Barger, I'll turn it to you.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is truly a great honor that I bring forth this motion to nominate Owen Brown's gravesite as the LA County's historical landmark. This has truly been a partnership with members of the Altadena community who fought to secure this site and to do the work to enable it to become a historical landmark. I want to thank the committee members for their dedication in establishing the Owen Brown Committee. This includes Michelle Zach, Marietta Kruls, John Burton, Diane Markinson, and Mark Goldschmidt. This group worked closely with Tim Cantwell, developer of Lavinia Community, to secure the land where the gravesite sits today, along with critical funding that has helped them restore it. In 2019, this board approved a tentative tract map and conditional use permit for the Lavinia subdivision in Altadena. The conditions of the map required the developer to acquire Owen Brown's gravesite and preserve it within a conservancy alongside the establishment of a public education program. Owen Brown, much like his father, was an abolitionist. He was present at Lawrence, Kansas, a bastion of anti-slavery settlers, when it was besieged by pro-slavery forces. His involvement in the Bleeding Kansas confrontations was in response to the sacking of Lawrence. Additionally, he joined the raid at Harper's Ferry, led by his father, John Brown. The raid was a daring attempt to instigate a slave revolt in southern states by seizing the United States arsenal at Harper's Ferry, Virginia. While Owen managed to evade capture following the failed raid, his father, John Brown, faced trial and execution by Virginian authorities. Owen lived a fugitive's life, eventually finding refuge in Pasadena. Shortly before his death, he left behind a poignant statement stating, "The only true religion is to be true to every human being and to all animals so far as possible and be just." Upon his death, Owen was laid to rest atop a hill in Altadena, his gravesite marked with a simple inscription honoring his lineage and ideals. Over the years, Owen's gravesite has served as a pilgrimage site for admirers, commemorating his and his family's sacrifices in the fight against slavery. Noteworthy were 2 iron ornaments affixed to the marker, a heavy hook on the left and a 6-inch diameter ring on the right, symbols representing freedom from shackles of slavery and liberation from mortal bounds. Since the Owen Brown Committee has worked to further restore and enhance this site, which I have had the honor actually to hike up with Michelle, it is truly, I think, something that everyone should experience. Thus, I believe it is incumbent upon us to safeguard this historic landmark, a beacon reminding us that amidst the darkness of our history, individuals like Owen Brown emerged to champion freedom and justice. So I would ask for your support on this motion. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Are there any other supervisors who'd like to speak on this item? Okay. I want to thank you, Supervisor Barger, for bringing this motion forward. Owen, John, and other abolitionists involved in the Harper's Ferry raid and slave revolt have left an indelible legacy behind them for their heroic actions. While reading your motion, I was struck at how we're in the process still of remembering something that happened as long ago as the Civil War. And just this weekend, I read Michelle Obama's book, The Light We Carry, and she mentions that the number of statues that exist in our country largely honor white men, many of whom were part of the Confederacy. So this motion helps to move us in a different and better direction. The process of collective healing from the sins of slavery is still ongoing, and it's vitally important that we create new monuments and places of remembrance centered around the heroes of the abolitionist movement. I thank you for bringing this motion to us today, and Executive Officer, please call the members of the public who have signed up to speak on this item.
Will the following individuals please come forward? Donald Harlan, John Burton, Marietta Kruls, Mark Goldschmidt, Michelle Zach, and Red Chief Hunt. Please come forward and staff will assist you. As a final reminder for participants on the telephone, if you would like to address item 18, if you have not already done so, please press 1 then 0 now to be placed in the speaking queue. Moderator, may we have the first remote speaker, please?
Our first participant is Eric Previn. You may begin.
That's right. Thank you. This is important, and the next item is about honoring female veterans. And don't forget about Private Cathay Williams, who was a black woman who lived during the Civil War. And she very much wanted to fight and help her country, but she was denied that basic right. So she enlisted anyway in secret under a pseudonym. She called herself William. And speeding through to the end, you know, she was honorably discharged when it all came out. She became a seamstress. But she was a great hero. She's listed as one of the most courageous heroes among our women warriors. So thank you for this deeply moving acknowledgement.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Madam Chair, there are no other remote speakers to address the board.
Okay, we'll go to speakers in person. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Donald Harlan. This is concerning agenda item number 18, Owen Brown Gravesite Historic Landmark nomination. That's private property. Yeah, in Altadena, that's private property. I would question legitimacy of some of your historical people you've made up. I'm pretty sure if Michelle Obama had written that he was an important historical figure, that it's pretty much not true. It's a constant battle with the county supervisors trying to remake history. So you own something that you really don't, or somebody's important that's really not. It seems that you're a bunch of monsters working at the county trying to promote traitors as heroes of the United States history.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm John Burton. I'm the vice chair of the Owen Brown Gravesite Committee. We'd like to thank Supervisor Barger and the board as a whole for this resolution and for all the support we've had over the last 5 years. Owen and his brother Jason homesteaded my neighborhood, the Altadena Meadows, in the 1880s. When he died in 1889, 2,000 people attended his Pasadena funeral to honor the tradition of abolition that he represented. The permanent gravesite granite marker was erected 9 years later and became a pilgrimage, an important point. It was vandalized. It was removed with this board's support. As we've heard in the resolution, it was relocated by the committee to its original location. We've installed benches and interpretive signs so that visitors will understand this important history, and landmark recognition will complete our project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Marietta Cruels. What a great day to attend such a momentous occasion. For the past 40 years, I've ridden my horses, biked, and hiked to Owen's homestead and final resting place, always reflecting on his bravery and courage in a just cause. But I've always known private ownership of the location was an impediment to protection, promotion, and the historic significance of the site. Altadenans for decades moved the needle to correct this. As I left my house this morning, I gazed at the San Gabriels with Brown Mountain, so named by Owen and his brother in honor of their father, majestically towering over Altadena. I smiled, knowing that the Browns' family mark on our nation remains unindelibly etched from coast to coast. And a brave soldier of the cause of freedom rests protected forever on a small mountaintop above Altadena, called the Little Round Top of the West. The Board of Supervisors today will place historic significance on this site and will give it added protection for posterity. Thank you all very much, and I enjoyed what the two of you had to say. Very impressive.
Thank you. Next speaker.
My name is Mark Goldschmidt, and I've been on the board of Altadena Heritage on and off, mostly on, for 23 years. Altadena Heritage is a nonprofit organization that advocates for the preservation of our historic, environmental, and architectural resources. We also support the beautification of our unincorporated community, and we work to keep our citizens informed. In 1989, 35 years ago, Altadena Heritage applied to the County Landmarks Commission for the Owen Brown gravesite to be recognized as an important historic site. The county turned us down, but Altadena Heritage never gave up. Now, with the help of our town council and a very unusual and special arrangement with the developer of nearby Lavinia, the gravesite is finally ready to be turned over to the Santa Monica Mountains Conservancy to become open space in perpetuity. A positive vote from our supervisors will be the culmination of a long, ongoing effort by our citizens to recognize and preserve the Owen Brown gravesite. Thank you very much for all you had to say, Supervisor Barger. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, I'm Michelle Zach. I'm chair of the Owen Brown Gravesite Committee, and I ask you to support Supervisor Barger's resolution to designate Owen Brown Gravesite a Los Angeles County Historic Landmark today. It's a long time coming. Altadena Heritage first nominated the site in 1989, but was turned down. We have kept alive efforts to honor this sacred site, a memorial to those who fought to end slavery in America across 35 years since 1989. California has few markers to the Union side of the Civil War or abolishing slavery, yet our state hosts more memorials and places named for the Confederate cause than any other state that was not part of the Confederacy. Today, February 27th, is a very auspicious one to honor California's Free State legacy. Abraham Lincoln delivered his Cooper Union Address February 27, 1860. To quote Lincoln, "Let us have faith that right makes might, and in that faith let us do our duty as we understand."
Thank you. Thank you very much. We have one more speaker on the phone.
We'll go to a participant of Angela Pennywell-Scott. You may begin.
Hi, I'm actually on hold for item number 19, so I think I got excited and pressed ahead of time.
Okay. We'll come back to you for 19. Right now, we're on item 18, which is before us, moved by Supervisor Barger. I will second to approve the item. Executive Officer, please call the roll.
Item 18 is before you. Supervisor Solis?
Aye.
Supervisor Solis, aye. Supervisor Mitchell?
Aye.
Supervisor Mitchell, aye. Supervisor Hahn?
Aye.
Supervisor Hahn, aye. Supervisor Barger?
Aye.
Supervisor Barger, aye. Supervisor Horvath?
Aye.
Supervisor Horvath, aye. Motion carries 5-0.
We'll now move on